Forewarning, spoilers ahead. The film starts on a secluded island, where an enormous number of well-off individuals are feasting, at an unusual but confidential eatery. At the point when the world's most affluent individuals got exhausted with their cash, they travel to this restaurant, to give pleasure back into their life. The cook lets everybody know how he killed his dad, with scissors to the throat, and afterward shows a display that portrays an incident. The visitors have no clue about that their supper experience will be not quite the same as what they envisioned. Following that, the film leaps to a couple of hours prior. Tyler, a well-off young fellow, is astounding his girlfriend Margot, with a dinner date. The youthful couple is going to Hawthorne, a luxury restaurant owned and operated by star chef Julian Slowik, and located in the middle of a private island. A food critic and her editor, a celebrity and his own assistant, and 3 rich businessmen join the couple on a boat to the island. Richard and Anne, another well-off couple, join the gathering, and apparently Margot and Richard know one another from some place. Before long, the visitors show up at their objective, and are welcomed by the island's head waitress, Elsa. She takes the guests on a visit through the island, prior to driving them to the restaurant. The visitors are likewise taken to the restaurant staff's housing quarters. Elsa claims that the group is like family, and they start their day at 6 a.m. and end at 2 a.m. At long last, the diners enter the restaurant, and sit down. Various cooks can be visible purposefully assembling the dinner, in the open kitchen, giving close consideration to detail. Prior to leaving, Elsa cautions the visitors not to take pictures of the dishes, since Chef Slowik believes the beauty of his creation lies in their fleeting nature. She illuminates Chef Slowik about Tyler's uninvited visitor, Margot, who shows up in the kitchen. Tyler had requested 2 tables at the restaurant a year prior, despite the fact that he was involved with another person at that time. This suggests that Margot is actually not approved to be here. Slowik is doubtlessly irritated, yet he takes steps to overlook it. In the meantime, the dinner will be a 6-course feast, and the first course has been served. Tyler sneaks a piece of the delicacy as the guests eat. Everybody admires the food, with the exception of Margot. The second course is accordingly served, and Chef Slowik tends to his visitors for the last time. He urges everybody to taste, relish and feel, as opposed to eat. He then informs the visitor about the food and what it represents. Margot can't understand the chef talk, however it moves Tyler to tears. Despite his fear of enraging the cook, he keeps on taking photos. Next, the chef serves minuscule amounts of 5 unique sauces to the guests. He doesn't give them bread, since he believes it to be peasant food. The businessmen find the entire thing outrageous, and request bread. At the point when Elsa politely declined, the group threatens to close the restaurant, since they know the one who's sponsoring it. Elsa actually won't give them bread, and lets them know that they will eat the food that is being given to them. Margot scorns the idea, and won't eat. This gets the chef's notification, and he finds out if everything is well. She tells him straight that there isn't a lot to eat. Following the embarrassment, the cook approaches a more established lady eating alone. She uncovers herself to be his mom. In the meantime, Margot is fixated on Richard, the wealthy man. This makes his wife, Anna, suspicious, yet he excuses her interests rapidly. After some time, the chef declares the following course: memory. He reviews the night his dad got back home drunk, and fought with his mom. Things gradually went downhill, and the dad choked her with a phone rope. Nonetheless, a youthful Slowik mediated at the last possible second, cutting his dad in the thigh with scissors. The story upsets the guests, however they dismiss it, figuring it as a fabrication. They're soon joined by house-smoked hamburger and tacos. Shockingly, each tack has a picture imprinted on it, summoning strong recollections in the restaurant. The food critic's taco incorporate photos of the restaurant she inspected, yet the film entertainer's tacos included an image, a picture of his worst film. Additionally, the businessmen's tacos contain data about their unlawful ledgers. They quickly call Elsa, and need to know how the restaurant found this information, taking steps to close the foundation. Elsa will not uncover anything and disappears. In the meantime, Richard and strange young lady are portrayed on Anna's tacos. She requests a clarification, However, Richard demands he has no clue about what the pictures mean. Tyler's taco incorporates a photograph of him prior, secretly photographing Slowick's food. He frenzies and considers going to apologize to Slowick. Margot is furious that the chef would do such a things, and demand returning the food to the kitchen. Tyler requests that she quit, advising her that he is the person who is paying for dinner. This bothers her, and leaves. The chef enters the bathroom, and asks about her identity. She distinguishes herself as Margot, yet Slowick demands she ought not be here this evening. She at last returns to her seat, and Chef Slowick presents the sole chef Jeremy, who has apparently developed the accompanying dish. He praises him momentarily, before unexpectedly changing his tone and talking aggressively. As per Slowick, Jeremy won't ever be an incredible cook, since he simply needs to be an understudy. Jeremy then, at that point, commits the incomprehensible, and commits suicide. Everybody is shocked and horrified, however Slowick guarantees them it is all part for the show. They return to their tables, yet Richard requests to leave. Elsa constantly requests that he return to his seat, yet he rejects. Accordingly, causing everyone a deep sense of shock, the restaurant staff snatches him, and slashes off his ring finger. The visitors are then cautioned that assuming they even consider taking off and destroying the chef's delightfully organized supper, they will experience far crueler punishments. Everybody starts to fear as of now, however Tyler remains unflinching, and keeps on partaking in his food. Slowick brings Margot to the kitchen not long after, and he asks her again what her identity is. He urges her to confess all, since he has carefully pre-arranged this supper, and her unforeseen appearance is destroying everything. He likewise illuminates her that all of them will die this evening. He allows her 15 minutes to pick, between dying with the people who give or the individuals who take. She gets back to the table in tears, stunned and panicked. Slowick empowers his hostage visitors to ask him inquiries before the following course, and one man inquires as to why. Slowick concedes that he is tired of running his eatery for different reasons. He has lost his passion for his art, and each individual here this evening is to be faulted in some way. The food critic is invited to the feast, since her negative review have forced a few businesses to close, while her editor has enabled her way of behaving. In the meantime, Richard and Anna are regulars at the restaurant, however they never appear to enjoy in the meal. Slowick bets they can't name a single dish he's served them. He then illuminates everybody about the angel who sponsored the restaurant. He unveils that he has suspended the man above water outside. He claims that the man has an unusual concern for making profits, and had over and again demonized the restaurant's food. Slowick then brings down the man into the water, suffocating him as everybody on looks in horror. Following 15 minutes, he calls Margot to his office, and requests that she settles on a choice. She demands she doesn't have a place here, and that he ought to let her go. He characterizes her with the workers, claiming that he can perceive she isn't from a well-off family. He then asks about her relationship with Richard, as she had been gazing at him throughout the evening. She admits that she is an escort, and that her real name is Erin. Richard is a previous client who compensated her well before. Slowick sympathizes with her, and concedes that he has had his fair share of nasty clients. He asserts that he used to love cooking, however that he no longer had the passion. Chef asks Tyler for what valid reason he is there, prior to bringing out the following meal. Shockingly, the latter states that he had been yearning to eat at this restaurant for a really long time, and that whenever the opportunity came, he took it, even though being warned quite a bit early that everybody would die. Tyler likewise says that he hires Erin to go along with him, since he had saved a table for two, and his booking would have been dropped in the event that he didn't have anyone. Erin ends up being upset, and strikes him, however the staff interferes right away, and quiets her down. Slowick calls Erin into his office, and requests that she assist him with arranging the last course, the dessert. He requests that she get a barrel from the smokehouse for the first task, which she does hesitantly. In the meantime, the actor requests to know why he is being punished. Slowick concedes that he detests the actor's film Calling Dr. Sunshine. He professes to have seen it a long time back on a busy Sunday, however it completely destroyed his mood. He says that his appearance in the film has tortured him from that point forward. Erin enters Slowick's cottage rather than the smokehouse, and finds a locked door. She attempted to enter, however Elsa shows up and attacks her with a blade. Erin unexpectedly kills Elsa during the battle. She is stunned by what occurred, however she before long collects herself, and goes into Slowick's room with Elsa's keys. Inside, she sees photos and newspapers about Slowick, and the many honors he has gathered throughout the years. With the exception of one photograph from his youth, when he worked at a fast food restaurant, he seems gloomy and angry in every one of them. He used to prepare burgers there, and had earned Employee of the Month. She sees a radio in the room, and uses it to tell the Coast Guard of everything. She then takes the barrel back to the restaurant. Yet again Slowick puts Erin down, and makes sense of that chef's responsibility is to offer astonishing food to clients. However, individuals don't need just food, they need an experience. Accordingly, numerous chef works under pressure, instead of with love, thus the chef's art suffers. Prior to permitting him into the restaurant, Slowick tells everybody not to tell on him, and summon in the Coast Guard. The police illuminate Slowick that he got a complaint about numerous deaths in this area, yet the sharp chef answers that all is great. All of a sudden, the officer recognizes the actor, and asks for his autograph. The actor readily acknowledges, and exploits the situation to write about Slowick. The officer takes out his weapon, and takes steps to shoot the chefs, after reading everything. At last, everybody breathes out a moan of help and tells the officer everything. Tragically, it's shown that the police are using a phony firearm, which causes the whole chef staff to burst out snickering. Slowick reveals that the officer is one of the chefs, mimicking the Coast Guard. He additionally illuminates Erin that he knows that she endeavored to call for help. He then serves the last feast, however Erin promptly concocts an arrangement. She communicates her longing to return his dinner, since she didn't like it. He gets disturbed, and he requests to understand what she could have done about the supper. She answers that he has taken the fun out of eating, and that all that he has served has been more of an academic experience, than something to sit and appreciate. She guarantees that the dish doesn't taste custom-made. She remarks that he has failed, yet in addition bored her, and she is still hungry. The insane chef's inner self is wounded, and he asks her what she wants to eat. She exploits what is going on to arrange a standard American cheeseburger with fries. Slowick, incensed, hurries into the kitchen, and starts cooking. He is reminded of his more youthful days, when he was a lot more joyful and jollier, as he is getting it done. The burger is finished and he serves it to Erin. Shockingly, she appreciates it and even compliments his cooking. This had made him the most happy he had been in many years. She then lets him know that he had served her more food than she can eat, and inquires as to whether she can get the remainder of the burger to go. Slowick muses momentarily, prior to consenting to mixture out the remainder of the dinner. Erin is feeling quite a bit better inside, and she pays for the food. On out, she momentarily stops to think about passing on different visitors to die, yet Anna pushes her to go, and save herself. Slowick thanks everybody for dinner with him, and says that every one of them represented the destruction of his art and life. They are presently a piece of it. A part of what he believes will be a masterpiece. Slowick and his group of chefs then present the last dish, consolidating every one of the visitors, every one of whom have at last accepts their fate. He sets everybody ablaze, including himself. In the interim, Erin gets away from the island on a boat as Hawthorne catches fire. The end. Thank you for watching. If you want to see more videos like this, hit that subscribe button.